Hey everyone, welcome to the live stream tonight. We're going to be working on the California build and we're going to be installing a CR Lawrence awning style window. So let's check out the van here. We've got van in the shop. I've got it turned around backwards so that we got more room to work on it. I've also got a camera on the inside and we're going to be working both on the inside and the outside. And so if you want to know what type of window this is that we're working with, I'm going to go ahead and bring it up here on the computer. And I think this will be the fourth, this might be the fourth one that I've installed. I've made my own template to make the process much easier. So it's here, let's see here. Okay, so this is what we're doing. This is the so we're doing this one. It's a driver's side, and so when you're buying a van and you want to put a window in it, there's other companies like Van Windows Direct, like two other ones. But CRL makes the window that I like because it looks like a factory piece of glass. It contours to that little pocket shape, and it has awning style vents, which are really nice because you can open them up when it rains and you don't have to worry about closing them. You can vent the van when it rains. It's not a slider style. Not against the slider style, I just don't recommend it. So this is what we're installing today. This can be a very stressful install. Like I said, I've done this multiple times. So I've got a process. I'm going to share that process with you tonight. And but before we get started, let's see. I'm going to move the camera down to the work table here and unbox this. All right. And yep, somebody help. Mike is coming into the shop later tonight, and we're going to clean this table up and get more organized. I had a van come in here. One of the first professional builds that I did come in the shop, and there was an inverter that we put in there. And had some issues with it, so they were getting ready to go on a trip, and we decided to go ahead and replace it with, so we went from a Renogy Rego 3000 watt pure sine wave inverter, and we upgraded to the Victron Multi Plus 2, which is their new style, a little bit more lower profile. The Victron inverter, the older one was it's kind of like a chunky shape, for lack of a better word. It wasn't low profile and slim, and we needed it to fit in the van. Long story short, we got them a Victron unit, and that's the one. That is probably what I'm going to be going with going forward, or the Victron components, just because. I'm not against EcoFlow. EcoFlow is great and it has its place within the van, especially if you want a like kind of black box that just handles everything for you and you don't want to mess with it or play around with it. EcoFlow is perfect. It's got a beautiful screen and you don't have to worry about anything. All the connections are really nice and easy to put together. It is expensive. But Victron, I would say, if you want to do an individualized component type setup, that's what I would go with. All right, so here's our window, and I haven't opened this box up yet, so something weird happens if there's damage to it or something like that. Yeah, we'll have to take it back. Now, what's nice is I get these. CRL Lawrence has a warehouse in Rock Hill, South Carolina, and so I choose to do a will call pickup, and I drive down there. It's about an hour drive back from the shop, and I do that so that if I have an issue, I can just, like tonight, I can look at this, and then I can take it back down there and return it, and I don't have to re-ship it back out. We've got the chat open tonight, so if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. It could be anything van build related. Speaking of that, I need to send out some invites for anybody that wants to watch here. Let's see if I can share. Give me 1 second, I will be back on camera. Just making sure people got invites. Come on. I got one more person. Give me a second. There we go. Okay, we're back. We're gonna get to some van building action. 1 second. There we go. All right. Yeah. Chat is open. Oh, John. So shipping is still Tuesday. So I'm actually checking out the app one more time. It's in Concord, North Carolina right now. And tomorrow by end of day. So, yep, just a little FedEx update. That's for another part that we're working on. All right, let's go back to the table over here. It's in Concord. Okay, here's our window. We're gonna cross our fingers, everything's fine. So the one thing you want to check for when you are opening this box is the glass has an awning section, and in that awning section, you're wanting to make sure that the gap between the glass is flush. I'll show you exactly what that is. Don't worry, I've handled this thing like a million times. All right, this is going to be cringy, but just go with it. Okay. And then we'll take some foam. There we go. Okay. Now the rattling around is the frame, and the frame is going to be the star of the show, because if you don't have a template, the frame is going to be your friend, and that's what's going to help you create the template. Now, you want to save the cardboard box. This back side of the box, I highly suggest you use it to make a template. You know, don't watch the YouTube videos where they trace the inside of the van and they make this hole, in my opinion, too big. So we're going to hop into the van, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. We'll come back to this glass and this frame, but let me tell you what I'm talking about as far as you want to follow the template you make from the glass and not what's inside the van, and I'm going to show you why. So if we go inside the van, now I've had some issues with focus doing like presetting this live stream up. So if it's out of focus, just tell me in the chat, and I'll try to fix it. So this is the template I made. So I've used this on 4 vans now. Maybe 5, but this is going to goes in here. All right, so if we look, it would look like, oh, well, this template is just exactly, if I just trace this inside gap all the way around the van on this inside, you know, just do a straight edge on this, then I should be safe. You can do that. It's questionable if you're going to get a really good seal, because the only thing that seals this window, there's not an adhesive or anything like that. It's a foam gasket, and the gasket is, we'll measure it, I think it's like a 1/2 inch. But if you can imagine, if you take an 1/8 inch too much on the bottom and 1/8 inch too much on the top, that's a 1/4 inch. And if you set the window down and bolt it in there, you don't evenly distribute that 1/4 inch, and so now the 1/4 inch gaps up here, and the amount of foam squeezing to seal it is not enough. That's one reason. The second reason is, and now that I think of it, this might be a 2-part thing tonight, because I try to prep as much as I can for these live videos, but sometimes I'm busy during the day and I need to do some other things. So what I didn't do is, obviously we took it out of the box, and what I do is I drill and tap the holes. I've got a whole video on this, so I'm kind of bouncing around all over the place, but we'll get to the pre-drilled holes in a second. That's why we might not fully seal the window in, but we'll go ahead and cut and prep. Anyway, so back to the cutting and prepping. What you want to do is get your cardboard template to be almost a 1-to-1 with the profile of the window. And that way you take your jigsaw, and once you've traced this, you cut the permanent marker line out, and now you've got just a perfect like 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch around the whole entire thing. It's a really nice tight fit. and you're going to get as much of the sealing gasket surface area, and you're not really going to have to worry about leaks. Now, where this window will leak if you don't do this correctly is in the corners, because believe it or not, we're fitting a pretty flat piece of glass. It's only mildly curved to a curved panel. And you'll see this because when you go to compress the glass in, the glass is pretty flat, but the van is pretty curved. So there's these points up here where the clamping force of the window is not going to be strong enough. And so to alleviate that, instead of using the supplied hardware with the window, I drill and tap it with M8 socket head cap screws. And those M8 socket head cap screws, when I tap the aluminum frame, they allow me to dial in the squeeze that I get, and I can take my time kind of sucking the window into the van, and just really nice, just really good compression. The only thing is you got to be careful because aluminum does want to strip easy, so got to be careful with that. That's the whole process. I don't think we'll get there tonight because we started the stream a little late, prepping for other stuff. Anyway, so we've got our template here, and this is going to go inside the van. So once you do all that kind of homework before you get to this point, once you get here and you lay this out to where it is even and where you want it to be, what we're going to do is we're going to tape it in place, and then we're going to drill 2 holes, and those will go outside the van. And then what we're going to do is take this off from the inside, put the drill bits in there, and then reposition this on the outside, and that translates the orientation from the inside to the outside as a 1-to-1. Now before you do that, and this is what we're going to actually do tonight, is we're going to cut these supports out. And when we cut these supports out, we need to not only cut them out, but we only need to go through 1 layer of sheet metal, not 2. We want to cut this out, but we don't want our grinder to go through the van, because that defeats the whole point of giving a nice tighter seal with the glass. So what we're going to do is we're going to start cutting, and then once we follow it kind of go in, we want to maintain that gap and not go all the way through, just enough to cut this bar out. Once we cut the top pieces off and the bottom, the bar is still going to be held in with the adhesive that Ford uses behind here. So we got to rip this off, but we also need to rip it to where we don't warp the sheet metal, because this is going to get kind of flimsy, and we want our window compression to be even. We don't want to have a piece of sheet metal that's bent in because we didn't peel this off nice in an easy way. So we're going to cut those off. Now for these, I just draw a straight line. The template is for this inner part of sheet metal. So when you see me kind of go back and I just draw a straight line, that's not going all the way through the van. That's just going through this first rib right here. So once the ribs are gone, then we'll take our template, we'll put it back in here and get it nice and even. Drill our 2 screws, put the drill bits back through. They'll poke out on the other side. We'll pop this back on, and then we'll just kind of double check our work. We'll see if it makes sense. Because the #1 challenge of this window is if you go too low, it's going to hit the bottom seam. And if you go too high, it's going to hit the top seam. And it's going to look kind of wonky, because you want the same clearance on the top, same clearance on the bottom. And you might be watching this video to figure out how do you do that so perfectly. So I'm going to walk you through the whole process. So let's hop out on the outside of the window and show you what that looks like. Let's see, I need to change up the camera here. Let's just go this way. So I've got a platform I need to move over here. All right, let me go find it. Of course, it has a bunch of stuff stacked on top of it. Excellent. Yeah, I call this like a painter's platform. It's perfect. If you're gonna install like more than more than one window, I'd buy this. You see, you can stand on it, and this is what I'll use to actually cut the window out, and I jigsaw the window out, if you're wondering. So now we have our template, and obviously it'll be in the opposite direction. And so when it comes through here, what we'll do is we're going to tape this on here, and we're going to make sure our lines are nice and even on the top and bottom. Honestly, you really can't tweak this because, once you cut those ribs out on the inside, the up and down, left to right is going to pretty much be where it has to be. And then when you come here, we're just making sure there's not something crazy like, this is off like a 1/4 of an inch or whatever. But yeah, we'll put this on here, we'll trace it out, and then we'll go ahead and just do a ton of painter's tape so that we don't scuff up the outer edge of the paint. Because the goal is this glass, the reason we bought it is because it sits in this inset into this channel, and that's what makes it look like a factory piece of glass. So if we will come over here. Okay. I'm pretty sure I have a video online where I go through the drilling and tapping. It was a long time ago. I think I made the templates like 3 or 4 years ago. But so this is kind of, I like this window, but the downside of this window is it's how they designed it to be installed. And there should be some hardware here. There it is. So I'm going to show you guys this on camera. So this is what I don't like about the window, and I'm pretty sure they won't fix it. But this is the so this is the hardware. They're just essentially sheet metal screws, and so they want you to take these screws, and there's a channel, and they want you to just kind of drill this into the channel and then hope that sucks the window in. And I say hope because there's no way to verify how much this screw is tightening the window to the van. And not only that is, if you strip the Phillips head on here, if it had a Torx head, I'd be happier, but if you strip this Phillips head, then it's just, I don't think it's a good solution. So what I do is so here's the frame. So we don't actually modify the frame at all. So what I do is I come through, and I do use the frame. So I use the frame, and then I get some masking tape. Just to pull the frame tight against itself. And I'll take a drill. And I think we might do this on tomorrow's live stream. So I do it to kind of bring it together here, and then once I have it clamped, go grab a couple more clamps. Now this is the process for prepping it for tapping the holes for the window, and also not necessarily the template, yeah, just the holes for the window. So take some clamps, and we want to squeeze the frame in and down. And now this is just an example. We're not actually going to do this. We'll do this tomorrow. We'll drill and tap this tomorrow, and then we'll install it completely. Tonight's going to be the dirty work of actually tracing the template, prepping, taping, and then cutting out. So we're going to drill each one of these holes, and then once we drill them out, then we'll undo our clamps. We'll take the frame off. And then now is where you get your drill and tapping. It's an M8 tap, I'm pretty sure is what we're using. So this is a, oh no, it actually might be an M4.7, M4 by 0.7. And then we'll tap all those holes, clean them out, blow them out with air, and then this will be prep to actually put into the van. But yeah, we're gonna do that tomorrow. So let's go ahead and see if we got any questions. And if not, we're gonna start cutting out the inside of the van. So I've got a long sleeve shirt on tonight. And just so the metal bits don't kind of get all over my hands. But we do need to use some eye protection and some hearing protection. Some other stuff you'll need is, again, lots of painter's tape, maybe a little bit of masking tape, fine metal or thin metal cutting blades. I use the Bosch ones that are available at Lowe's. I got a cordless jigsaw, and this one has, let's see, this one has basic metal. Might use that. And so we're going to be cutting on this side next. So basically I'm just prepping. Got my jigsaw, tapes in the back of the van. I've got painter's tape, all that good stuff. We'll come into here. And then the tool that we're going to use is a Milwaukee grinder. So this is a 3-inch, it's got a 3-inch cutoff wheel on it. And I've got like a little straight edge that it's made for cabinets, but we're just going to use it for this situation. It doesn't have to be completely perfect, but I like to make it as perfect as I can. And we need something a little bit wider. I think my orange square is what I typically use. All right, we're gonna go with this square for the time being. So yeah, we're just gonna line it up. And again, this needs to be a nice opening, an even opening, but it doesn't affect the install. If you go too far down on here, it will, because it'll interfere with where the window comes through. But basically what I'm saying is if you mess up on here, then you can correct it, whereas if you go through it, you can't. And this is a visual reference, so just when I have something to follow when I'm cutting. Yeah, and Mike is coming to the shop a little bit later, so I might have to pause the stream or just mute it. He's going to help me get the shop organized so we can finish up what we got to do tomorrow. Which means I'm going to get my phone so I can not miss the call. All right, yeah, we just got 6 lines, and so as soon as I walk back over there, we're going to be cutting this out. This is in 4K, so after YouTube does its thing, it'll probably be super clear. I can't find my zoom lens for this camera, so hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing here. I might move this in just a little bit more. Yeah, that's you can see it. I think that's the best I can do. After YouTube does its thing. All right, so I'm gonna exit out of the video so I can turn my volume all the way up. Okay. All right, let's get let's see if I can get my face mask. So you can change the direction of the wheel. We want the wheel to go, sparks to go that way, not this way. And then when we turn around, you can change the blade. And so this is what I'm gonna do. You can do whatever makes you feel safe, but I wanna make sure I can guide this so it doesn't go all the way through. And so what you can do is just, you can do one pass across the top, not go all the way through, and then come through and kind of, it feels like it kind of like melts in, but you just want to do the first layer, don't go all the way through. Okay, so this top part is done. And you see how it's flexible, so we don't want to rip it off yet. We want to get the bottom one done. So we got a nice clean cut. We didn't go through both sides. We just went through this one side. So see how it's this just one part's broken off. Okay, so we're going to take a break just to show you pulling this first piece off. I got to get another battery. That one said full, but it's not full. So if you want to put gloves on, you can. Sometimes I just don't use gloves. But everything is extremely sharp. But when we pull this off, we just want to go easy with it and just kind of, again, we don't want to bend the outside metal. We just want to kind of like start it and then just kind of work its way off here. Now we don't have to clean this off because we're going to cut the whole window out anyway. But we do want to take our time ripping this off. So that's the adhesive that I was telling you about. This is the same adhesive that's on the roof ribs. And it literally connects the roof to the metal. Okay, so that's the first one. So you see, we're going to do this 2 more times. And then once we do that, we'll put our template in, drill, and then we'll flip it to the other side, and then we'll start marking it out. Okay, so that is the first hard part. Second one would be the jigsaw, but it's much easier. It's not as loud and got sparks flying everywhere. But when you saw it kind of kept popping out and I was trying to stop it, that's, if you can help it from not doing that, that is ideal. And so we will take a scraper to get this off because we want to lay up our cardboard template up to it. Okay, scraper. Oh yeah, forget that my headphones hit the microphone. All right. Let's try these. Let's try these guys. And you want to have some really good. I got the fan on. You really need some good air ventilation for this. So I'm using this is like an auto body trim pry bar. And don't slip and hit your finger there, you'll slice it off pretty bad. All right, I'll be right back. Check, check. Live. Okay. We're back. So we're going to finish scraping this off. Template, other side. All right, so, all right, that's it. Doesn't have to be perfect, just needs to be flat. Yeah, we got the dumpster too.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, we'll move stuff tomorrow.
Oh, great.
It's already filled up. Well, I couldn't lay things in there. I tried, but there's a lot of airspace. It needs to be not airspace. Let's see what I'm doing. Template, drill bits. Let's see. Let me hide this thing. This little box. And you don't have to use thick drill bits, but it sometimes helps with the cardboard. They're a little bit thicker. Template. Drill bits, template, and masking tape. Don't use painter's tape for this portion. Painter's tape will not stick. All right, I'm gonna go back to my phone to see if you guys have questions while I'm doing this. All right, so that's it. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just needs to be. Oh man, I knew it. No, I'm on Wi-Fi. I'm not on the LAN. Come on. Come on, viewers. I need you to tell me that it doesn't look perfect. All right, let me see if I can plug this in. If it'll switch on over. Let's see here. Let's see, let me hide this thing. It's the box. Are you still there? Oh. Maybe? Well, stick with me, guys. Let's see. Let's cut this off. All right, I'm going to turn off the other.
That's good.
Let me turn this one off and I will be right back. Are you still there? Let's see. Cut this off. Oh, no. That's. I'm going to turn off the other. We're good now. We're good. Turn this one off and I'll be right back. All right, we're back in the van. Here we go. So we're going to take our template, and now that we have space to kind of move it around, we're going to tape it, and then we're going to drill it. And just get one in the middle to kind of start. Now there's a cutout here. Hold on. I got two templates. This one is for the slider door. We need the other template. There we go. The internet's just a little slow tonight. It's all right. Okay, so here's our template. We're going to lay it up in here. We're going to sit it down on the bottom. And then in a second, we're just going to, we'll sit down the bottom, and we want to get it good from left to right. A nice even space. Then we're going to come up as even as we can. That looks perfect. Okay. We're gonna let go and just make sure that this thing stays so that we get some 2 nice drilled holes. And really look at this to make sure you get this nice even gap. It's about a 1/8 of an inch all the way around on this. And we're going to push in when we do the drill bit. Okay, so now we're going to go through the van. So maybe a little stressful, but make sure it's not moving. Here we go. All right. So keep that there. Take it out. So we're going to take this drill bit out, and then when we transfer it, we'll tape this to the wall, to the van. So I'm actually going to put that back in so that when we drill on this right side, we can keep the same alignment. All right, still looking good. Okay, so this is how this works. We got both here. We're gonna take these two, we're gonna take them out. We'll take both these out, peel this off gently. And then we got the big drill bit here, small drill bit here. And then we're gonna tape them so they don't come out. And we're going to use them to align this to the opposite side. Okay, so here we have the logo on this side, and the other side will obviously be on the opposite. Yeah, and then let me know, guys, if this thing is dropping frames, stuttering. Looks like my internet is pretty slow. All right, Mike, you're gonna be on camera.
All right.
Oh no, you're good. It's gonna be the view of this, the van. Let's see. I'm gonna zoom in just a little. You guys can see those. There you go. So you see how we have those on the other side. So that's going to. That is going to get our template lined up. Now I've got multiple holes in here, so we'll make sure we get the right ones. Don't push too hard because you'll back out the drill bits. All right, now we're good. And then I'll show you a way to double check this here in just a minute. And there is a curb, so we want to tape it pretty good to take up the curb. So I'm doing one piece of tape horizontal, and then one vertical. And we're using masking tape. We'll use painter's tape when we're jigsawing, but not for this. We need that to be tight. And it will pop out because that's what it does. So do you want to be OCD about this? Yes. This is the part where you want to be as perfect as you can possibly be. No redo. But in a second, I'll show you how you can double check that this is where it needs to be. So see this drill bit, how it was pointing down? So I need it to be center. So when I go to make my line, I'm just going to lift this up so that the bit's center, because if it's down, that means this cardboard is angled down. So now that's sticking straight out. Same thing, see here. Okay. And we're just going to we'll leave that side. All right, so to double check, off camera, I'm going to measure, I guess I am teaching this. You should see all the steps. Yeah, tape measure. Yeah. It's like magic. All right. Okay, so right here, we have, this is the frame, and this is what's going to lay into the van. And so that is what we want to double check. So right here we've got 25 1/4. And you should have already done this, double checking the template, but we're just going to do it because that's what we're going to do. And then we'll come here to right about the center, 45. Okay. All right, so now we're going to come and, now remember this is inverted, so it'll be flipped. But from the base to the window down here, we want to measure, and we've got 1.5 inches. And then we want to come here and then measure, and we got 1.5 inches. All right, and then the top. Hold on, let me save this so I can go back and forth. So this bottom was 1.5 inches. So we're good. And now 1.5 inches is not the bottom line, it's this inner line. And then the top, this one is 2 inches in the middle. And we just want to make sure that we are like within a 1/16. And, or an 1/8. An 1/8 is okay. So right now we're at 1/8. So the glass is an 1/8 below that. And that is, if anything is outside of an 1/8 of an inch, then you need to redo your template or, redo your template. So in the middle here, we've got 1 3/4 inches. We've got 1 3/4 inches, and in the back, 7 inches. And we've got 7 inches, and the back, that glass is going to come over this edge a little bit. The back right here is really weird. It's because this part of the van will smush to the window, but the support column is here, and this does not move. So that's why this upper and bottom have to be really pulled in tight, because this upper and bottom will leak if they're not like that. And if you're wondering what these holes are for, is when you make the template, these holes need to be cut out so that the knobs don't interfere with you creating the template in the first place. So yeah, 1 3/4 inches. Let's just triple check. Yep, 1 3/4 inches. Okay, we're good. So what does that mean? We're going to start tracing with our marker. Remember, we got to watch our drill bits here. We don't want them drooping. So we're going to start at the top, and where the tape is, we'll take the tape off last, or we'll come back to those pieces. But now this is where the precision of your template is going to make or break this install here. And when we jigsaw this out, we're going to be jigsawing on the marker line. Not above it, not below it, but on it. And because if you're too shy and you go too conservative, then it's going to be such a tight fit that you won't be able to figure out where it's tight. And then if it's too loose, same. If it's too loose, it's just the seal is not going to. It's not. You're not going to have the best seal. Or your chances for messing up and sealing will be less, or something like that. And how I made this template is I laid the cardboard from the box on top of it, and then I used a razor and just very systematically cut from the bottom up. Until I kind of like chiseled from underneath the card, like I cut the cardboard, like this was pressed down on top of the glass, and then I kind of went under, and then I just went by and I cleaned up all my edges. Yeah, so that video is from a while back. If I have time, I can attach it in the comments. I'll do it later. So these places where we make a thick marker, we just want to know that we're staying more to the inside of that line. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our tape off so that we can get a clean line where the tape was covering earlier. And I wait till take the top tape off. I do that last. Oh, is it leaking or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed the trash Friday. We got a big old dumpster though.
Nice.
Just throw it in the dumpster. And be gentle on your template because, well, I don't know. You might not be reusing it like I reuse it, so. And so now you can kind of just move this around so you've made your line. And where these drill bits are, you can kind of see if you overshot or undershot where the hole is. My template it's extremely tight. I try to be pretty much a perfectionist on this one. So you'll see when I'm trying to fit the window in, I'm gonna have to do some additional trimming, but just better to be cautious. Yeah, take time with the max fan, the AC, and the windows, because I mean it's the elements. You just don't want those things leaking. It'll just annoy you the whole time you own the van. All right, so we've got everything cut out. We're feeling really good on our gaps. We'll go ahead and there's not really anything to double check because once we've moved the template outside, we are pretty much we're going to be where we're going to be. So I'm just kind of looking here. We've got 1 3/4 down here, 1 3/4 here. We've got inch and 3/8, inch and 3/8, inch and 3/8. So let's see if our template sank a little bit. So yeah, the glass goes to 1.5 inches, but again, we've got this curve right here, so we're gonna be okay. And then up here, it's right at exactly 2 inches. That is 2 inches. And we'll look at the top of our frame. So that this is, let's see where we're at. To 2. So 1.5 inches. Set that down. So inch, we want to sit down at 1 3/8 inches. Inch 3/8. So the top glass is at 1 3/4 inches. Bottom glass is at 1 3/8 inches. Okay. So bottom glass at 1 3/8 inches. Bottom glass at 1 3/8 inches. Okay, that's good. The bottom glass, so it's going to sit on this ledge essentially. And you pretty much, if you need forgiveness, it's going to be going up, not down. So the fact that we're 1 3/8 inches and 1 3/8 inches is right where we need to be. This top section, we've got 1 3/4 inches. So this top section glass will be, let's see here. The reason I'm being super picky right now is where this gets glued in. I don't think I'm paranoid, but every transit I've had has these different shifts. And so my template was made, 4 or 5 vans ago. I just want to make sure. So the glass is going to be perfect on the bottom. This top section here, it's looking like we've got 1/8 to 3/16, a little bit of a gap at the top, which is, you can't visually see that. I'm just making sure that if I need to go up, I have room to do that. So we're going to jigsaw on the line, and then what we can do on the bottom is we can maybe put like 2 pennies down here, and we can like lift it up just a little bit to make sure it's nice and settled evenly in here. But to make sure it fits and it seals appropriately, that's one. And then the second is to just dial it in seam-wise. So, but if you're DIYing it, don't stress too much. The first one I did actually came in and it came down at an angle. So it was like 1/8 of an inch down on the right, and it was perfect up here on the left. But you can't visually tell. It's just more of an OCD thing. So I'm happy with that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get a step bit, and that's going to allow us to get into the sheet metal. and it'll be where where we start the jigsaw part. So I'll show you on camera what this looks like. So this is the bit right here, step bit. It just allows you to go in quickly to sheet metal and do what you need to. But first is going to be the process of just taping this wherever the jigsaw can go. So I'm going to take out the blade of the jigsaw so I can show you an example. Yeah, just leave these spark plugs here.
This fan?
No, I changed mine.
Okay.
It was a feat. Yeah.
Figure out.
Had to take the whole entire airbox out. Had to take the whole entire intake manifold out. And then on the last one, my coil boot ripped in half down in the tube. I spent an hour and a half cutting off the rubber. And so, but I was going to number these, and I haven't done it yet. So
Okay.
keep all this right there.
Yep, I got you.
Okay, so when you're jigsawing, it's not just the blade, it's this whole pad down here. So when you go to come around this curve and you turn, you see how you're coming into the paint and you're gonna scrape it. So think about where your maximum width is gonna be out. So I usually do like 3 widths of like wide painter's tape. And then on these corners, you know, when I'm coming here, it's more tape, obviously. So another pro tip, when you come to these corners, just take your time. If you rush and you grab this, it's going to dent the metal in, and that's going to make it not seal as good as it could. You're going to need to like take a screwdriver and like bend it back out. It's just not a good thing. It's possible I might do it live, but I know how to fix it. But for you, just don't do it because, just don't do it. Try to be perfect on this, but you're going to come here nice and slow, and then just come straight up through here. But again, without a blade, kind of practice. And this sounds insane, but trust me, like go through this and just do a dry run of how you're going to come through and kind of do your movements. Again, sounds insane, but I'm telling you guys, you don't. You just don't want to mess up on it. It's you want it to be nice and perfect. All right, let's go get our tape. Oh yeah, I cut off. When I lost that shift boot, I got frustrated and I cut the I cut the hose off with the razor. So if you get the tube, you can reinsert it.
I saw the tube. I got it.
Yeah. Okay.
I got it.
All right. Here we go. So we're going to first start off with some masking tape, and that's going to give us a nice line, just like right underneath this. Permanent marker. Again, we're not referencing the tape line. We're just using this to start our layout. Because the CR Lawrence windows, there's a lot of compound curbs on these things, so. you don't have to worry about on the inside as far as scratching it. If you brush up against it, with the jigsaw on the inside, don't worry, it's not going to rust or anything like that. Ford does a really good job with their paint and the way they do the, what do they do when they dip the van or do the undercoat? It's really good. So now if you nick the metal, like say you're jigsawing and the jigsaw bounces, like you stab something and it kind of gets off kilter, definitely use some rust preventative to go over that area, but other than that, it should be pretty good. And I do the white tape in the middle, the masking tape in the middle, because sometimes the jigsaw teeth will pull the tape up if you use the blue stuff. Now I'm going to use a face mask for this, and it's not because there's any type of like off-gassing or something like that, like there was when we grinded inside. It's because when the chips, they get super fine, and you're really close to it, and you'll start breathing in jigsaw dust. Not good. When we cut this out, we'll use a piece of tape to start taping the edges of the panel after it's been cut. That way it just doesn't flop around all over the place, because that can also catch your jigsaw blade and cause problems. Huh?
Did you grab a face mask?
I got one over here.
Oh.
It's kind of, I lost the plastic cap. Yep. Is it a Toyota? No, oh, okay. Sometimes, guys, I don't know if you're joking or being serious, so forgive me if you actually thought it was something like that. So this is a Ford Transit. It's a high roof. I think it's a 350, which the 250, 150, 250, 350 has to do with the suspension, not so much the van. That is correct. Nothing like cutting to $60,000. You are correct. I'm okay with cutting into it, but I'm basically prefacing it for you guys out there that are DIYing it. So just don't rush. There's no reason to rush. It's your van. You just take your time. As you can see, I'm pretty much doing this all by myself. Where you'll need help, or where it's nice to have help, is once this is cut out we won't do it tonight because the stream's just going to go too late. But tonight we'll cut this out. We're gonna sand, test fit this because it's nice and flush. And then once we're not cutting anymore, we'll clean it with alcohol, and then we'll rust prevent, and then we'll see if you guys have any questions. Oh, that thing's I think it's the hose is backwards. Yeah. All right, so here's the next part. Take this without the blade, and then just make sure that this is, you're coming through, you're turning around. Don't fall off the ladder or step. I used to do this on a ladder. I don't advise that. Yeah, you guys can check out the video from a long time ago. I'm going to take these drill bits. I'm just going to push them on the inside. Get them out of the way. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to drill 2 holes, probably maybe one here, with a step drill bit. The goal is to just make a hole just wide enough for the jigsaw, but we don't want to smash the drill into the sheet metal. Again, think of this as a sealing surface. We want this as flat as possible. So if we push it in here to force the drill bit in to drill the hole, we're going to have a divot, and it's not going to be the best seal. So that's what we want to avoid. Again, now, when I cut this out, I will have to fix some areas. It's just, the template's going to get us 99.8% where we want to be, and then there's some tight spots. So wherever the tight spots I have in here, you'll probably have the same issue. So it should be pretty helpful. But yeah, we've got a full battery, and we're going to grab, I already grabbed it. They're over here. I put them over here. I'm going to grab some jigsaw blades. You only need one, but so if you're DIYing it, I would go with a fine tooth, not so much a coarse one. So oh man, Miss Nova. What do you want? As soon as I'm ready to drill, she wants to do something. Very good. All right, let me get my step drill. All right, here we go. We're doing it. Everybody's waiting for this part of the video. I got it. I got it. She's just going to have to bark. All right, here we go. So I always try to improve when I do this. I usually put the hole here, but this is a place we don't want to disturb. So we're going to bring the hole back here to start the jigsaw going this way. And just let the drill bit cut, like don't smush it. She always has perfect timing. Okay, if you're using a shorter jigsaw blade, just be careful you don't pull this out while it's still going, because it'll stab the metal and kick back and then dent that flat surface that you're trying to make, keep it flat. I'll see if I can zoom in just a little bit more. So this part right here, So this is dipping down a little bit. So I want to come up, so I'm going to back it up, and then I'm going to come and try to get back on this line. Do you know that sanding disc that goes in the drill and just like spins like sideways?
Yeah.
Oh, it might be. Oh, it's here. Never mind. It's in a place that it's supposed to be.
Oh, nice.
All right. The window is cut out. So if you tape it, you can control the window. Let's take it easy here. No, I'm just gonna. I can just hand it to you. Let's take it out. So yeah, you just pull the tape and just grab it on one side. There you go. Super sharp.
Yep.
All right. So what's always fun is to just try to see if the window will just fit perfectly the first time. It never happens, so I always have to trim it a little bit. Take that. And I got it. And so I am doing this by myself, but it does help to have someone. But for me, I don't know. I want to be able to feel where the window is not popping in the van, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna put it in the bottom, and I'm really happy with the front. Front looks good. My My top looks good. So that looks good. So this backside, the backside looks good. Huh. What do you know? Front is really nice. Okay. Oh, or is it? Okay, so this front, we need to trim. Front is a little. Okay, so the front, all right, it's right there. So, Mikey, actually, let me see that pen. That actually might work. Okay, that might be good because I'll do, or maybe that one. It's right there. And then that right there. So that. Okay, so we're going to widen that a little bit. So what I'm looking for is, I'm looking for where the curve of the template, where I need to widen it out a little bit. The curves are always, I mean, as many times as I've done this, it's always the curves. Now, when I take this out, what I'm also going to look for is at the bottom, do I have like a little burr that's raising this up more than I want it to? So right here, we've got, need a widen there, and there. So a little turn, and then down here. Okay. So. And keep it in the bottom channel, and then just have it kind of come towards you and lift up. It's not that heavy. But it is glass. Okay, so I couldn't see this bottom part. As I'm looking here, I can already see an issue. And this right here, it kind of went across, and there's this little hump. So think of this bottom where if there's like a little speed hump, what's going to happen is it's going to lift the whole thing up, and then these sides will be lower. And so we want it to be like a flat, like window ledge, essentially. So I'm going to come across here, and for example, like this is okay. That's a little high. And then from here to about there, there's a little high. Nah, I don't need that. So we're gonna do that. So we're just gonna do one step at a time because we don't want to cut everything just because we think we need to. We'll start with the bottom and then we just polish the sides so there's no burrs. So sometimes it'll slip in easier that way. Yeah, so let's just see if that did it. All right, so it still looks like this top corner we need to open up. Back side, yeah, there's like a little spot right there. Mike, can you hand me that pen? Thank you. All right, so right there. Right there. So we're gonna. Oh, actually, nah, it's the same top. Okay, there's that whole top. All right, that whole top. And this one, it's just that corner. Okay. So we've just got this right here. I think we only got 2 spots. And we got pretty much right there. So the front is going in nice. The back. That's okay. It's the back. front, top front, it's good. Back, top back is catching a little bit. Oh, where? Okay. Just right. Just right there on the side. I mean, it's really nice. So yeah, just back here on the back. Back. Yep, just the back top right, just a little bit. And this thing's falling off of the plastic clips, so that's okay. Don't really worry about that. We'll put them back on. The sheet metal's just grabbing them, pulling them off. You do need them. They're there for alignment purposes. But we need this right here. We need to take this off. Let's see, so right here, it's okay. It's tight. So probably that. All right, let's let this be the final fit. So I did put the plastic pieces back in, so if they moved, it's possible that it changes the pinch points up a little bit, but I don't guess it can be that. Yeah, it does. That one's good. The problem is, I think we had a plastic one on the bottom off, and now we have it back on. And where are we pinching here? Pinching. Okay, front's good. All right, we just need to get this opened up a little bit. What you want, Nova? Okay, we got the front of the curve, but we didn't get the back. So, this spot right there. That is where it's touching. That spot right there. Yeah, you're okay. Yeah, yeah, we can wait. Wait on the vacuuming. just a little bit. Come on. Mike, can you hold us on the back side? Oh, no, this side. And just like nice, yeah, just right there, like that. It should be in there pretty good. All right, yeah, just hold like that for a second. All right, stay right there. got to tell people some stuff real quick on the inside. There we go. Like 2 minutes. All right, so we're on the inside of this guy, and we see that all of our plastic tabs, they're kind of like guide tabs. So they're going to sit on here, and that's going to be where the level is. So sometimes if these tabs are too far on the inside and you got to swoop, it's going to mess your whole thing up. So what I did is I just kind of moved them more wide because I had that rise in my template. And so the bottom's fine. Then I come up on the side. This curve was a little tight, so I opened it up a little bit. And then that allowed me to kind of pull in. Now what's going to happen is it's going to want to pull in here and pop out the back. And that's because the transit is not straight, it's curved. So it's like a seesaw effect. So the reason I drill and tap the frame is so I can slowly smush it. Whereas if you use the hardware that's in it, you're kind of just hoping the best that you pulled it tight, and you really can't dial in the smush. So tomorrow we'll drill and tap, and we're going to squeeze it in. And what we'll do is we'll really make sure that these top corners get squeezed in. Because if you can imagine, if we squeeze this front end too tight, it pushes too much pressure on the back. So what we want to do is we want to tighten it in a circle evenly and bring it in evenly. We don't want this to be tight first, this to be tight last, almost like a torque sequence on like your wheels. So kind of, you know, start here, go out, and we'll show you guys tomorrow. But yeah, this is a great fit. It's really tight. It doesn't move left or right or up or down. It does rub a little bit. That's okay. You don't want to rub in too much to where when you smush it in, it pops. And then, you know, maybe it gets loose in some area. But if you guys have any questions, put them in the chat. Because we'll be finishing these up. So next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you the next part of the procedure, which is pretty much just cleaning everything up, getting it ready for paint. All right, I only took it out, what, 12 times? So, all right, here we go. We're on the back side. So what we're going to do is we're just going to sand it real quick. And do some denatured. Oh, we're good, we're good. So, yeah, I'm gonna use denatured alcohol to prep this. And then we're gonna put a little coat of paint. Some Krylon Fusion. You can pause for a second. I might talk through this a little bit. Yeah, so we're just gonna wipe this off so that when we're gonna use artist brushes, so you can get them at Lowe's. It's just basically like little tiny bristle brushes. And I'm gonna use a double cupped Starbucks cup. So keep those if you're doing windows. It doesn't melt like other plastic cups, so. All right, so what time is it? Ooh. All right. All right, so let's see here. Yeah, I'm gonna go about that many more. So we've got spray paint, Starbucks cup, and this is what I'm talking about. So this is the paint that we're using, matte black. This is the brush. This is the cup. And then we're just going to paint. We're going to spray it into the cup, and we're going to liberally apply this to our, and see, we've already got it taped off, so we just go for it. And then on this inner side, really get some paint in this inner channel, because you're going to have a lot of like sharp metal that has kind of, I mean, sand it out, if you drop some stuff in there, maybe pick it out. But you've used that flap wheel if you did like I did. And if you don't get everything out, or if you sand it and you can't get to it, just use extra paint to get down in there. I mean, should have a really good seal if you cut it out and you did the whole template method like I did. But, if it's possible, like a little moisture can get in there, you want it to be rust proof. Yeah. And we're putting quite a bit on here. We're going to do 2 passes. So with this Krylon Fusion, you put it on, and no joke, the instructions say, wait a minute and then recoat. So it's pretty good stuff. I mean, I use this for every part of the van. So like the Max van, anything I drill. Now don't go crazy on the inside, because there will be a reveal on the inside, and you just don't want to paint black, because the way these wall kits work, depending on what you get or how you're doing it, we won't see this outside, but if you notice, I'm not painting the inside. I'm not just going on the inside, because you'll paint over something that you can actually visually see after the CRL window frame goes on. Because once the window frame goes on, the frame is not that thick. It's only about like a 1/2 inch. So, don't go crazy with the paint. And since you're using the masking tape, you can see here, just making this like really quick to do this. Okay, so while I'm waiting just a minute, I'm gonna lean over and try to hit these inside pieces just that I scuffed up just a little bit. Okay, and then just this bottom channel, I'm really just going to hit that one more time, going from the left to the right. All right. Forgot what that sound means. New subscriber or something. Speaking of that, time for a shameless plug. So I'm going to show you guys Van Builder HQ website here in just a second, and I've got 2 things for you. One's a free offer that is a DIY Van Build cheat sheet. So essentially it is a Excel sheet of all the Amazon purchases that I've made over the past couple of years, and it's going to allow you to be able to just check out some parts that I bought. It's just a free list to help you out. And so you can find that in the link in the description. And then I also have a full van build course. And you guys can pick that up too. It's a DIY camper van blueprint course. I'll show you that. So let's hop on the computer really quick. So that's pretty much it, guys. We did it. It is prepped. It's going to dry tonight. We'll drill and tap the holes tomorrow. And then we will pop that thing in, and it'll be in there pretty much forever. So if we go to, let's see here. Let's get to the computer. So this is the DIY Van Build cheat sheet. This is what you guys can download. Just put your name and email address. It's completely free. Comes straight to your inbox. And then the course is right here on the course tab. Camper Van Conversion Blueprint. Check that out. You can access it right now just for $50. And it goes through everything. It has getting started, choosing your van, design and layout. I'm helping a customer right now choose their van. And yeah, I can help you. This is not part of the course. This is if you decide to be an Odyssey Custom Vans customer. But part of this choosing your van has to do with the consultations that I provide and help you choose the van, V6, turbo V6, high roof, extended. But in the course, you can kind of get a snapshot of what it might be like to go down the path of purchasing a van on your own. What you want to look for: 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, load capacity, that type of sort of thing. So you can kind of do this camper van conversion blueprint as a starter to kind of understand all this stuff. It might help you get an idea before you do a DIY build, or it might show you that maybe you want to do a professional build, in which you can reach out to me. So the link in the description below is where you can reach out to me for 2 things. So I have a free consultation. It's just like a quick onboarding of if you wanted to be a customer, have me build your custom van. And then the second one is a paid link. And the paid link is if you just want professional advice, if you want me to go over maybe some drawings, sketching, like a plan, layout, plumbing, that sort of thing, you can go that route. And then that way you're still doing your DIY van, but you have a professional behind you to kind of check over any questions that you might have. But in the course, talk about off-grid power systems, fresh and gray water storage, insulation, sound dampening, exterior upgrades, finishing up the build, personalizing the van. And so all you'll do is go in here, you'll click access. It's going to bring you to this screen, and then you can check out. And yeah, I think it'll really help you out, and helps out the channel as well. And yeah, so there's two things. And then as always, if you guys are watching the live stream like you did tonight, you're welcome to ask pretty much any question comes to your mind, van build related. Hopefully we can keep it that. We did the window tonight. So that thing is looking great. I'm happy with that. So this week is a jam-packed week. We're really getting started or catching up on, this is our California build. So this week we are doing the finished install of the Velit 48 volt rooftop AC, 12 volt rooftop AC. And then we're doing the max fan. We'll be wiring all the solar up top. And then we're going to be moving down. Mike tonight was prepping the roof panels so that we can start to upholster them. We've got ceiling lights coming in. So I kind of think of it as I build like a sandwich. So the top of the van I like to get all finished first. Then I get the floor finished. And then now I can work on just focus on everything in the middle. There's a whole lot of stuff, but we're going to call tonight so that we can get ready for tomorrow, do more things on the van. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, get subscribed, share this video to anybody that might be doing a DIY build on their own, need some help. They can jump on a live stream. We're going to try to do one every night this week, covering what we're working on this build. But yeah, we hope to see you back in the next live stream. Until then, thank you guys so much for watching.